How's it going? It's Jesse again, and I'm about to show you guys some of these painting easels. These guitar easels I got going on here. Something you've probably never seen before. Here's one of my favorites, based on Telecaster design. See on the back, it's made out of one, two, three, four body pieces and a neck. This one's kind of small, but it's all bolted together. It's all made out of pine. It's made out of a solid pine block. It's like a beam. There's about 2 meters or 10 feet, 10 feet long. Beam about this thick, and then I cut it the long way with a handsaw. And I was able to make 2 sets of guitars out of each piece, basically. So I think I made 10 or so out of that piece. Pieces at a time. But you can see it's all attached on the corners there, but that's really just for insurance. The main attachment points are these bolts right here. You can kind of see, they're like screws, but they're about 6 or 8 inches long. Oh, there's another one there. Trying to remember where I put them all on different ones. This one was a little hard because of the cutaway to get it in there. So that one has to rely on some more hardware. This is another unique piece too. It's like a cross, like an old worn out looking cross. I cut it out of with an axe out of maple, and the neck is beech. But it's the cross, and then it's the spear, and it's great because you can put any size piece on it. It can be expanded, much larger piece. You just hold it, or you can put a hanger on if you want. This is one of my main ones. It's probably definitely my heaviest one. It's made to look like a torso, a sculptural torso, like made out of, I don't know, marble or something like that. And then it's got the neck on it. You can see the ant holes chewed through it. It's all like carpenter ants from the logs that I used that were stored that way. That one's all maple, as far as I know. Yeah, it's all maple. Here's another one. It's a constructed one. It's like a sculpture. See, it's pretty lightweight. It's not much going on. Just kind of a solid frame with it. It's got the short neck on it. This is also made out of beech. It's got link ray on it, but you attach more panels onto it right here and here, so you can set on a much larger piece, and that's just kind of the piece has the painting on it, but it's made to put more pieces on. This is another one, similar idea. You would bolt something onto the wood frame, which is I think beech, and definitely some maple in there and pine, all different shit. But this one you can also flip over. You can do it both sides. It's got the handle down there too, and also throws a little balance on it. Just aluminum rod, threaded rod, holding it all together. Just a couple screws in them, really. It's more based on supporting elements or something. Doesn't have to be bolts and screws necessarily. So here's the ones that I did all out of that pine beam I was talking about earlier. You can see these ones are all basically pretty standard construction. I'm using the either a tailpiece that goes right across the back, or I'm using a block that separates the top and bottom pieces being longer. It's something more to do with the length of wood I was working with at the time. But the neck's set in there squarely. Actually a little bit of an angle, but it's set in there solid on what, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. All right, 4 sides. So it's more solid than the way a guitar neck is put in there on most guitars, or on a Fender guitar anyways. Here's another one, solid maple, small body. It's got a lot of paint and stuff on it. It's kind of not holding it together, but making it look a lot better. This is, again, a lot of pieces. It's got those joints in it like there. It's lightweight. It's the shortest one I think I have. Pretty sure it's the shortest one. This is one of my favorite ones. It's also one of the heaviest ones. It's a little bit heavier than the white one I showed you earlier. So it's over there. I'm just working on this one tonight. It's one of Keith Richards'. This one kicks ass, but it is a lead sled. It's got a cool angle as the neck's made out of cordwood. It's got a twist in it. Feels like you're bending it like that. But mostly holding it down here for control, holding up here for maybe get a better different angle on it or something like that. purposes to these necks, you know, holding up top, it allows you a little bit of movement. More movement here is less movement on this end, and down here it's the opposite way. Everything's more fine control. You know. These two are like twins. Oh. There you go. Those two are like twins. They're made out of the same piece. It was cut in half. I made one really fat piece like that. I said, I think I can cut it in half, make two thin ones. So you can see they're thinner than some of the other ones. The necks are also made out of the same piece. So they have the same twist in them. Like one neck would stack on top of the other one. And I kind of cut them lengthways to make two out of it. So it's like twins. They have great feel to them. The twist on it, so you can hold it like, this is the angle you're looking at, so you're holding down, but you're able to see the painting in there. This one also has a nice twist on it, so you can hold it like that, and it sits against you. It's got the hologram girl. Looks like, yeah, reminds me of Johnny anyways, the hula girl. This one's one of the smallest panel ones that I got. It's got a really cool neck on it. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. Just the panels are pretty small, so it's like smaller than the faces that are on those, all the paintings on those ones. This one's cool. I really haven't even got into using it yet. I just made it and been so busy working, breaking all the other ones. I haven't really fucked with it much, but it's got a cool like aqua color to it. The neck's cool. It's got this cool twist to it, like curve to it, you know. Looks like it's jumping out at you. Really thick body. That pine was a different piece of pine. Total shit wood, the worst. So it took a lot to smooth it out and make it be together like that. This was the first one, the prototype one. It's all maple. It's got a cool look to it. It took a ton of hours because I was trying to figure out everything. The panels kind of recess. You can see the panels recess into there. So you change them in and out by screws. You can see the screw holes. I hadn't really thought out like a fastening system at that point, you know. So it's also got a cool body twist in it. So when you look down at it like this, you can see the painting kind of twist back at you, and you get a decent look at it. If I had to pick a favorite, I don't know, man. They all got something to them. The feel of this one, which I don't know if I showed you this yet. The feel of this one's really nice. It's very light, very light. It's a total junk pile thing. It's things I snapped and hit with an axe and kind of busted in shape, cut with a jackknife, saw, just like hacked it together, but it has a lot of character. Probably bled on it or something. But it sits on you really nice. It's really, really light. The neck is super smooth, super fucking fast neck, short neck. It's just held in with bolts. It could be taken on and off. And then panels are going to be attached on top of those two. So it'll be a two-face to be able to do two portraits at once. Guitar easel, basically. You can see those are that one there, that one, that one, that one. They all got kind of an abstract sculpture feel to them. Those were the first ones I did when I was kind of trying to think differently about what panels I wanted to paint on and how I wanted to be shaped and stuff. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should really do something like that one that looks like a guitar and has that feel to it. It originally had a shorter neck, thinner neck on it. I didn't really like it, so I replaced it with that neck, and I haven't even maybe 2 paintings into it or something like that. So I'm still getting a feel to it. I performed with that one though, the first show, so it has some, you know, the prototype more or less. But the favorite, yeah, I have to say it's this one I call the Swan here. See, it's a white swan from Mark Bolan. It's got that duck beak, Peking duck face color, you know, that bright orange. It's got a really nice, really smooth body to it. It's got some character and some NARS in it. Just the way it was assembled. It's not even that it was injured or anything, you know. It's just, those are tooling marks that I never fully took out because these were all made with hand tools. There was no power tools involved in any of this. Even cutting the beams was, you know, chiseling stuff out, cutting all these angles on the sides. That was all done with hand saws, and then the final curves were done with sandpaper or rasps. So it all came together that way. I think there's like 16 of them, or 15 or 16 of them in all. Try to use them all every week. Per day, probably 4 or 5 of them, something like that. But in live performance, you'll be picking one up, putting one down every song or so in order to get the paintings turn out right. If I had to pick another favorite one, though, it'd probably be this one. It's a little bit heavier. The neck is cool because it tapers. It's got like fatter neck up top here and thinner down here. So for sliding down, it works really well, or up. It's got a nice headstock, which I like this angle on the headstocks because it really holds your hands good. You can hold the thing easily like this. I don't know. Seems to make sense, you know what I mean? I could have shaped it like anything, you know, but at a certain point, these things were built and shaped in, you know, the prime time of like design in the 50s. The first ergonomic ideas are in these things, guitar shapes, and there's a lot of stuff that's not just for playing guitar, it's for holding something out of wood for as long of a time and moving with it, moving your hands and your body around it. There's a specific reason why they shaped that thing that way, and only some of it has to do with playing guitar. A lot of it has to do with just holding it in your hands. So,